Hello, MGB here. I'm just doing a quick video today with the intention of showing some slope tolerance problems and how to work around them based on some feedback I've been seeing recently. It appears some users have been having issues specifically with two pieces. One here is this subway to elevated transition piece. The other is the toll booth. So I'm going to start with the subway to elevated rail transition. And I've deliberately built a very rocky outcrop here. I have a custom slope mod installed, but it's not particularly restrictive compared to some of the others out there. And as you can see, unless I really try to put it somewhere inappropriate, it is not actually that difficult to plot this piece. And it will do its very best to make sure that the terrain around it is leveled. As you see, it isn't quite perfect. And you see what I've done here is I've put these stubs in by just clicking in every tile individually with the rail tool. You can do this also with road, one-way road, avenue, or a couple of the other networks as well. But essentially by doing that, you create an absolutely flat area with which you can then place this transit-enabled or TE lot. And that's important for a lot of the TE lots. They really like to have flat land to work properly and to look their best. Having done that, as you can see here, it's no problem to drag out my L-rail line. Of course, my slope mod prevents me from just dragging it wherever I like, and that's far too big a canyon for me to traverse. But within reason, normally you're not going to have these problems. If I just deliberately put it on some non-flat land again, just find another spot where it will allow me to place it isn't too crazy. Or have I killed all those off? A moment. There, for example, is pretty not ideal. And you see here, just by dragging away, it can eventually connect things up. It doesn't look as tidy, but again, unless you've got a particularly restrictive slope mod, there's no great difficulty in doing this. And the subway side of this connection should be a breeze, as that isn't subject to the same restrictions as you would expect to have with the elevated rail network. Quickly just move on to the toll booth piece. Let me find that. I've gone too far. There we go. So you can't actually place toll booth unless the network is already in place. So we'll do a road. Remember, this is nice and flat land, and that's the best thing to do. Pre-flatten your land, click that in place, and then start dragging here now over the slopes. And you're not going to have any problems with the slopes affecting the toll booth. If we were to try and do something again a bit more challenging, I'm just going to do a little bit of quick terraforming. So I have a feeling if I don't, we're not going to make this work. Maybe not. A little bit quicker than that. Let's try and level brush instead. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I just want to keep some bumps in there, so let's mess around with it. So now let's try it with an avenue, because again that's a bit more challenging if you come down from here. So we've got quite a reasonable slope going on there. Again, it's the same piece as your overplop. It recognizes which network it needs to go on. You see here again, without a particularly restrictive slope mod, I can place that. It has flattened the land here, so if I delete it again, once it's gone, put those stubs in place, you see that's absolutely flat. Yeah. Of course, had I made it flat beforehand and then plopped it on there, that would have worked just as well. And what you ideally want to do, let's make the two tiles either side of it flat as well. So we've got 4 tiles, and that goes in the middle. And then again, see the connections on either side of this now look a lot tidier, a lot neater than they otherwise would. And as you can see, unless you've got a particularly bad slope mod, there should be no difficulties here. But worst case scenario, by flattening the land beforehand, again, you should have no problems making this work.